white and blue balloon is all ready to take off, and on board is no less a personage than Jules Verne. We all know his wonderful adventure stories, Around the World in 80 Days, 5 Weeks in a Balloon, From the Earth to the Moon, and many more. The destination of this journey is an area right in the middle of Europe, within the borders of the Federal Republic of Germany. Everybody has heard about it, and many have already been there. Anybody who would like to learn some more about it is cordially invited to join Jules Verne on his voyage of discovery. Off we go to Bavaria.
In the extreme southwest, the Swabian Sea, Lake Constance, continuing on past the hills and meadows of the Allgäu toward the east, then traveling along the Alpine range, which forms the natural southern border of this territory. Set among majestic mountains, a storybook fortress, Neuschwanstein Castle. And not far away, Ettal, a Benedictine monastery rich in culture and tradition. And wherever you look, picturesque villages with their characteristic onion-domed churches, with the highest mountain in Bavaria, in all of Germany in the background, the 10,000-foot-high Zugspitze. In the Alpine foothills, the Chiemsee, the largest Bavarian lake with islands and shores open to everyone. Along the rivers flowing northward from the Alps, old trading centers like Wasserburg on the Inn. And on the Isar, Munich, a city which has developed into a major European metropolis in the course of its 800-year history. Then as now, the center of the city is the Marienplatz. The residence of the kings of Bavaria, who turned Munich into a city of art and culture, capital of the Free State of Bavaria, headquarters of important banks and insurance companies, a major German commercial center. Its slogan, World City with a Heart, has been known the world around since the 1972 Olympics. Farther west, northwest to Swabia, the city of Augsburg, a former free imperial city and one of the principal medieval trading centers. On the romantic road in the Ries, Nördlingen, a city with medieval architecture perfectly preserved to this day. Nestled in the green hill country, Ottobeuren, a grandiose monastery, a glorious example of Swabian Baroque. The Danube, lifeline of a continent. On the way east, the Gothic cathedral in Regensburg, with a history that goes back more than 2,000 years, one of the oldest cities in Germany. Farther downstream, where the Ilz and the Inn rivers join the Danube, the three-river city of Passau. Above the mountains of the Bavarian forest, miles and miles of unspoiled natural beauty. And right in the middle, Germany's first national park. This is a place where the trees can grow old gracefully. And farther to the north, Franconia, the old imperial city of Nuremberg, today the northern Bavarian commercial center in the shadow of the mighty Kaiserburg, the imperial fortress. A former capital of the Margraves, Ansbach. The classicistic Prediger Church is an example of this city's architectural style. The venerable episcopal city of Bamberg, with the towers of its late Romanesque cathedral rising majestically above it. In the upper Main Valley, the pilgrimage church of the 14 Saints, and directly across from it, Banz Castle. The glorious castle where the Prince Bishops of Würzburg once resided. And above the old Main Bridge, the Marienburg Castle. And on it goes, all the way down the Main River until we reach Aschaffenburg, one cultural treasure after another. In the deep Spessart forest, we find an especially precious gem, Mespelbrunn Castle on the water, one-time country residence of a Franconian noble family. The wooded Spessart Mountains and the lonely high plateaus by the Rhön River, Bavaria's northwestern border.
The variety and beauty of Bavaria's nature and culture have piqued Jules Verne's curiosity. And now he wants to know what the Bavarians produce, consume, and export. His bird's-eye view first lands, well, what did you expect, on these fertile fields and meadows.
Bavaria has always been an agricultural country, and despite all its industrialization, it continues to be the largest agrarian state in the Federal Republic. The primary crops are grains and feeds, and the raising of cattle and pigs. Bavaria's farms provide 1/4 of the nation's food, while maintaining the rural areas of the state in top condition. Here's a local specialty, hops. 1/5 of all the hops in the world is grown here in the Hallertau. These hops are used to brew world-renowned Bavarian beer, part of this area's lifestyle. Scarcely less famous, Franconian wine. The traditional boxbeutel bottles, reminiscent of medieval wine pouches, help the connoisseur recognize the genuine article, grape-rich, earthy wine grown on the slopes along the Main. An old guild sign bearing witness to an ancient tradition of handicrafts, still maintained by skilled artisans to this day. Old trades like pottery have currently been enjoying a renaissance. Other craft shops, such as this ironsmithy, create true works of art. Typically Bavarian, this intriguing technique of painting behind glass. The art of the violin maker. Wood carving. Another prized art form, Nymphenburg porcelain. Processes hallowed by tradition produce precious figurines and valuable china services. Made in Bavaria, a synonym for the utmost in quality. And with the growth of the manual trades, we find the beginnings of industry. Gradually, this farmland became a modern industrial state, where there is still plenty of room for new factories. It all started around 150 years ago in the spinning and weaving mills, which now operate with pre-programmed, semi-automated equipment to produce top-quality yard goods. Even though the fabrics are mass-produced, these Bavarian-look clothes, based on traditional folk costumes, are unique and unmistakable. Twice a year, fashion leaders from all over the world get together for Munich's International Fashion Trade Fair, where high style rules the day. Munich makes fashion. The fascination of glass. In Bavaria's glass factories, steeped in tradition, sensitive hands form elegant individual pieces, while automated machines mass-produce glassware of all kinds. A new plant for the fully automated production of plate glass for windows and mirrors. Like all of the economy in the eastern Bavarian border country, this industry receives special encouragement from the state government to help offset its less than perfect geographic location. Another industry firmly established for centuries in eastern Bavaria, the ceramic industry. Produced with perfect technology and lavishly decorated, what a joy to set the table with porcelain from Bavaria. More than a third of it is exported. New scientific knowledge, new technologies, new industries. Over 100 years ago, the first chemical plants were established. Today, one of the most important products of this industry, plastic. Another example of the breakneck speed with which technology is developing today, home electronics. Microcomputers make new manufacturing techniques available, make possible the production of new products such as video recorders, open new markets. A special feature of the Bavarian economy, the industrial balance throughout the area, with a wide variety of products supplied. One of the many medium-sized top performance companies here, the oldest printing equipment factory in the world. It developed the first high-speed press, and almost all the world's currencies are printed on its machines. Internationally recognized for their high technological standards, locomotives from Bavaria. Trucks and buses, sturdy, reliable vehicles proving their mettle on all 5 continents. Robots welding car chassis. We need them to stay competitive on the fast track of today's economy. Automobiles and motorcycles from Bavaria are in demand all over the world. More than half of them are exported to well over 100 different countries. Bavaria is the center of the German aeronautics and aerospace industry, and makes major contributions to European and transatlantic cooperative programs. The star performer of the aircraft industry, the high-capacity Airbus. After a top-speed takeoff, Europe's flying bus is well along the skyway to success. Another important supplier manufactures engines, not just for the Airbus, but for all kinds of aircraft, including the latest mass-produced German helicopter. The BO-105, a multi-purpose helicopter featuring ultra-modern rotor blades made of glass fiber plastic. Its flight characteristics are most extraordinary. From Bavaria to outer space, with the construction of the research and information satellites, and participation in the Ariane and Space Lab programs. Always right on top of the latest developments in technological progress, the aeronautics and aerospace industries set the pace for many other economic areas. Electrical technology, electronics, microelectronics, the most important industrial activity in Bavaria. Conception and production of machines and equipment to control and carry out production processes. To regulate rail and road traffic. Computer tomographs for quick and certain medical diagnoses.
Morgen.
New information and communication technologies and systems which have changed our lives. From cable television to telecommunication to radio contact with outer space via satellite. The basis of this dynamic development in Bavaria is business initiative coupled with scientific research and government support and encouragement. A happy triumvirate that will continue to foster progress on a human level in a free society. For over 100 years, decisive impulses for basic scientific research have emerged from Bavaria. Today, conceived and tested in laboratories and scientific institutes. Tomorrow, patented at the European Patent Office in Munich. And the day after, another top-quality item made in Bavaria hits the market. Munich makes markets for the world. One of the 25 fairs and exhibitions that regularly take place here, the ISPO, the International Sporting Goods Exhibition. More actual purchase orders are placed here than at any other single event. Engineering fairs such as Bauma, Systems, or Electronica, often held in conjunction with scientific congresses, serve the international exchange of ideas and experience, as well as contributing to sales. Toys for children of all ages. The Franconian toy industry brought the International Toy Fair in Nuremberg into being. Now it is an event of international importance. And for convention visitors or vacationers, modern hotels, deluxe downtown locations in the big city, or picturesque country inns featuring Bavaria's proverbial hospitality and Gemütlichkeit. "15 million people from all over the world come to Bavaria every year on vacation. After all, for all the spit and polish of Bavaria's industrial image, it is and remains a splendid vacation site.
The white and blue balloon sets its course for Bavaria's vacation land, and Jules Verne sees on his map a wide variety of attractions for recreation and relaxation in summer and winter, folk festivals and festivals of the arts in city and country. Jules Verne is delighted, and a brisk Bavarian breeze sends the white and blue balloon on its way into the excitement of a Bavarian vacation year.
White mountains, blue sky, a symphony in Bavaria's official colors. Off to the slopes, alpine ski paradise between Lake Constance and Berchtesgaden. In the alpine foothills and the other Bavarian mountains, cross-country skiing, gliding along the miles and miles of mountain trails over snow-covered fields and forests, finally hitting the home stretch to the comforts of the warm neighborhood tavern. Wintertime is Fasching time. Hijinks in the snow, zaniness on the streets and squares. Bavaria's silly season fills the originally decorated dance halls with merrymakers in crazy costumes. Hot tropical nights right in the middle of winter. Sports and fun on the ice. Skating and sleigh riding, ice sailing and curling, or just strolling across the snowscape, enjoying Bavaria's winter wonderland. And then springtime. The tops of the mountains are still covered with blossom-white snow, while down in the valley, snow-white blossoms adorn the fertile pastures. On the first sunny days, there is plenty of activity in the newly reopened beer gardens. A fresh tankard of beer and plenty of hearty food to go with it. Beneath the maypole, a traditional local symbol of living custom and tradition, the natives dance and sing their way into the summertime. Whether local gentry or vacationers from far and near, everybody enjoys the fun of swimming and water sports. A vacation or weekend at one of the 200 Upper Bavarian lakes. And for a change of pace, how about a vacation in northern Bavaria? An idyllic countryside provides the perfect setting for romantic towns and villages. A well-preserved testimony to Germany's rich past. Representing many other such historical sites, this pilgrimage church, Baroque elegance as expression of deep religious faith and joy of life. The history of art and culture are splendidly displayed in the Germanic National Museum in Nuremberg. Just a couple of this museum's many attractions, paintings by Albrecht Dürer and a late Gothic Madonna. Excursions on isolated roads, through romantic valleys, and on up to proud fortresses. A hike through the mountain forests, or a stroll through the park in one of Bavaria's renowned mineral spas. Here, health-giving air and water form the basis for both curative and regenerative stays. A refreshing swim or an enjoyable taste of the local hospitality. Plenty of variety, every day a new adventure. That's the inexhaustible delight of a vacation in Franconia. Now for something completely different. A weekend or short vacation in a big city like Munich. A mixture of romantic old city and the rarefied air of an international metropolis. A stroll through the pedestrian zone. Shopping to your heart's delight in big department stores and exclusive specialty shops. In antique shops, folk craft and clothing shops, or high-fashion boutiques. And there are plenty of sights worth seeing in Munich. Art history in the old and new Pinakothek. Scientific progress in the Deutsches Museum. Old Munich, an eternally young city with a varied cultural and recreational program. From Strauss operas in the Nationaltheater to open-air concerts in Olympia Park. And now, from the world city to the world of the mountains, another typical Bavarian contrast. A mountain hike in the Allgäu, or a ride on the ski lift. Up above, inviting mountaintop inns or cabins on the mountain pasture. And further up, the unspoiled world of primeval flora and fauna. And then, from the highest peak, the unmatched view of the ranges and summits below. Everywhere in Bavaria, all year round, folk festivals and festivals of the arts. One major event is the annual series of chamber concerts by candlelight in Herrenchiemsee Castle, King Ludwig II's dream castle on an island in the mighty lake, brought vibrantly to life through the joy of music and illuminated with thousands of candles, a Bavarian Versailles. Mozart Festival in Würzburg. In the Imperial Hall of the Residence, the Paris Symphony, performed by the Bamberg Symphony Orchestra. The harmony of sound and setting. Summer concerts featuring sacred and secular music in the grand setting of Rococo churches and Baroque castles. Bayreuth, annual meeting place for Wagner lovers from all over the world. The solemn fanfare resounds from the balcony, a promising harbinger of musical things to come. In this case, another spectacular Wagner production, with world-renowned soloists and a huge ensemble. The finale of Die Meistersinger. In addition to its many arts festivals, folk festivals are also part of the Bavarian way of life. A whole city plays its part in the Wedding of Landshut, a princely event commemorating the betrothal of the son of a Bavarian duke to a Polish princess more than 500 years ago. Then as now, a glorious celebration for the local citizens, as well as their many far-flung visitors. Auf geht's zur Wiesn, the traditional call which opens Munich's Oktoberfest on the Theresienwiese. On opening day, folk groups in traditional costumes, hunting clubs, brass bands, and clowns and jugglers from Bavaria, Germany, and Europe lead the parade of visitors to the festival grounds. Inside the beer tents, potent Munich beer brewed especially for this occasion. And outside on the grounds, a colorful, joyful country fair. Bavaria, a land where they still know how to live.
Jules Verne has seen quite a bit of Bavaria, but certainly not everything. There is still plenty to discover. One more reason to come back soon and enjoy Bavaria's magnificent hospitality as long as possible.